So today we're doing a chakra meditation and activation, and I really want to spend some time actually diving into a little bit of the backstory. So you'll find that these sessions they're part meditation, but they're also part workshop. And that's why I've allowed up to an hour and a half for these, because I really want to make sure that you guys have enough of the background knowledge and understanding of why we do some of the things that we do. Because like I could lead you guys into a meditation, but if you don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it or the benefits of that, there's people tend to not do the practices. So, and what I want obviously is for you guys to get maximum benefit from taking these practices, applying them into your lives, and to understand why this is so important. This goes back to I guess a very earlier part of my journey, where when I first started learning about energy, it completely blew my mind. And it still to this day, it blows my mind that people don't understand that energy is the fundamental makeup of our universe, right? Like I was doing some research the other day and I found out that if you took all of the empty space out of the atoms, then the entire of humanity can fit into just a single little sugar cube. Because everything within us, like our atoms, our molecules, everything that we have, everything that creates this physical realities, it's actually made up of 99.9999999% empty space. And that empty space is energy, it's consciousness. And so when we understand how that energy actually works and we learn to apply that into our lives, the way that we live our life ends up becoming so much more expansive. Like it's expansive. There's more understanding, there's more grounding. For me, from years and years of doing this practice, it's led to being a lot less guesswork in my life. And whatever wording you want to use, people call that flow, people call it alignment. What it means for me is that my life is surrounded by magic 24/7. Like over the course, I will share with you from time to time some of the stories and things that happened to me, and they're downright mind-blowing, but it's because I understand how energy works, and I understand that before anything happens in this reality, it's already happened at the energetic level. So if you can see something at the energetic level, then you can have that awareness before it shows up into your reality, and that knowledge right there is a game changer. So I'm going to start with just some of the chakras today, and I want to go through each of them and just explain roughly what they all are, and then we're going to do a meditation today to help you just align and get that energy flow moving through the chakras. For those of you that are like super new, I would encourage you guys to also do some research outside of this, because there is to be honest, it's not rocket science. Like once you have a basic understanding of what they are, you can learn to apply them quite easily. There is a little bit of a theoretical understanding that you need to have for this, so that when you do go applying the practices that we're going to do today, at least you can have some idea of like what these chakras are and how they're actually affecting your life. So I'm just going to share this screen with you guys. We've got this beautiful chakra picture over here. Cool. Great. So on this image here, you've got the traditional 7 chakras. So we've got the root, we've got the sacral, we've got the solar plexus, there's the heart chakra, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And then I've also added on here the earth star and the soul star. So the earth star is this chakra that's just below. Hang on, let me just change this to presentation. So I'll show all the other bits and pieces. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. So you can see here that I've added at the top, there's the soul star chakra, and then at the bottom, I've added the earth star as well. So who's new to those two? A few of you. Okay, cool. So I'm guessing that there's probably quite a few of you in the group that you may already know the 7 main ones, but you might not be introduced to these other 2 as well. And I typically work with this 9 chakra system, because I find that when you include the soul star and the earth star, that you still you still have to, I guess it connects your physical body to the cosmos and to the earth. And that to me is very important. So the meditation that we're doing today is going to incorporate the whole lot. But I'm going to start by telling you guys about the 7 main chakras first. And then from there, we're going to introduce the other 2 in as well. And the process is going to go through all 9 of them. So starting from the root chakra is all about like safety and security. If you have any blockages in that particular chakra, it's because there's like it generally shows up in your life in terms of like money problems or like feeling quite ungrounded if you're doing a lot of spiritual work as well. It can also lead to a lot of anxiety. So if you have like common anxiety in your day to day, it's because your root chakra is not fully connected to the earth and you're not feeling that sense of connectedness with the actual earth, the earth energies. Then we come up to the sacral chakra, and your sacral chakra is all about your sexuality and your creativity. Now, a lot of people think that your sacral chakra is very much just to do with sex, but it's actually so much more than that. You know, because your sexual energy is your creative energy. And if you think about it, your sexual energy is what literally brings life force into this earth. So whether you're sexually active or not, if you have a blocked sacral chakra, it generally plays out in terms of like lack of creativity. And this one definitely also affects your abundance as well. Because if your creative flow is blocked, then your money flow is also going to be blocked. Yeah. If there's any like trauma in this area, if you've had any like issues, if there's been any abuse or anything like that, that can also affect your money flow as well. And so that's definitely something to look into. And then we come up to your solar plexus, and your solar plexus is all about your confidence. It's about your self-esteem. It's about like your personal power, you know, your actual sense of beingness in this earthly plane, and to be able to own who it is, your uniqueness, and just to be really, really okay with that. So I find that when people have blockages in their solar plexus, they often can be quite timid, or they can be quite I guess afraid to just be themselves, and that can definitely create a blockage in the energy as well. So then coming up to the heart chakra, your heart chakra is everything to do with love. And even though all of the chakras are, this is really the one which I guess governs your relationships with people and also your relationship to self. You know, because when you connect into your internal, you know, like your inner heart, your heart space, if there's any blockages in that space, you can find that it affects both your giving and your receiving energies in relationships. But then that again translates through a lot of areas of your life as well. See, it's important to recognize that even though each chakra represents a certain vibrational frequency, they actually all work together. So if you have a blockage in your heart chakra, that's going to affect all of the areas of your life, right? It's because all of the chakras work together in an energetic flow. And what needs to happen is the energy actually needs to flow through the crown and actually go through all of the chakras and then anchor into the earth. But if there's a blockage, say, for example, in the heart, it's kind of like energy moving through a pipeline or water moving through a pipeline. If there's a blockage in one part of that pipe, the whole pipeline is going to be stagnated in its flow, right? So yeah, the heart chakra is definitely, I guess, one of the most important ones when it comes to the way that you relate to yourself and also how you relate to others in this world. And if you're getting into more advanced techniques of the heart, you can also go into more of the multidimensional side of it as well. That's something we'll cover a little later in the program, because each of these chakras is also a multidimensional portal, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to keep it to basics. Just know that that's something that can happen later on. Then we come up here to the throat chakra, and your throat chakra is all about communication and expression. I find that when your throat chakra is working really well, that you can speak eloquently and tactfully, and that your throat is very connected to your heart. So when it's actually functioning well, the feelings that you have in your heart are able to translate through words and through expression very, very easily. But if that connection is blocked, then what happens is you tend to not speak up for yourself. You tend to be quite timid. You can be quite unafraid to actually share what you're really thinking with people, and this can then lead to a lot of miscommunications. It can lead to relationship breakdowns. It can lead to you not feeling like you're getting what you need, either, you know, it could be from the workplace, it could be from relationships, it could be from your family, wherever it is that you're not fully authentically expressing yourself. So it's important to have a very open throat chakra so that that energy of communication and expression can radiate outwards. That particular chakra is also quite connected to your sacral because of that creative expression. So if you're not expressing creatively in your life, and then you're not expressing, you know, verbally or artistically or in other ways in your life as well, then what happens is you can end up actually just feeling quite depressed. And I believe that humans we are creative beings. You know, we're not here just to work and to earn money and to, you just have these really long days doing things that we don't enjoy. I believe that we all have natural gifts, and that when we utilize these natural gifts to really, I guess, put ourselves out into the world with the things that we're passionate about and the things that we're good at, what happens is there's a creative flow of energy, and that creative flow of energy comes through the way that we express. So it could be through some of you artwork, it could be through music, it could be through dancing, it could be, for some of you, it could be through your work. If you are working in a field that is something that you're passionate about, your creativity can also be like your business or something like that that you're doing. So then we come up to your third eye, and I find this one really interesting because a lot of people associate spiritual awakening with the third eye. And to be perfectly honest with you, this is a very, I would say, dangerous way of approaching spiritual awakening, because if you try and blast open your third eye, but all of your other chakras are not grounded and not in alignment, it can actually have some fairly negative effects if this is not done correctly. And this is where I'm very, very mindful of certain practices that teach you to open the third eye without taking the rest of it into perspective as well. Because, like, for example, your root chakra, that literally holds the rest of your energy. It's called the Muladhara, and it holds everything else up in that space. Right. And when you allow that energy to be held from the bottom up, it creates a support system. Now, if you go blasting open your third eye and, all of this energy is open, and then, your upper chakras are open, but you're not actually grounding that downwards, it can leave you very much in la la land. And I do see this a lot with people who've been on the spiritual journey, where you can be like, super, super connected to your angelic guides, and you can be seeing all these amazing visuals and stuff, but you've got like poor health, and you've got poor finances, and you're in toxic relationships, and all these other things aren't working because you haven't actually taken the time to ground that into this reality. Right? So third eye awakening is definitely part of spirituality, but it's not the be all and the end all of everything. And I think there are probably a few too many practices out there on the internet that really put a lot of emphasis on this without recognizing that it's one part of a much bigger whole. When your third eye is open and it is functioning correctly, it does allow you to have some amazing visuals in your meditation practice. So for those of you that are doing these meditations and you're not seeing things, all it means is your third eye needs a bit of unblocking, and we will do that today as well. I have seen many, many times when people do these particular activations and practices that they do have an opening of the third eye. But again, it's something that I would really, really advise you guys to not get attached to, because it'll happen for you at the time that it needs to happen. And it's not something that you can go chasing. I actually had a third eye awakening because of doing consistent Merkaba meditations. And I've been doing them for almost a year. In fact, I think it was my very last session that I had with my mentor in that first year that I was learning these activations with her. And in that session, I was literally sitting there in my meditation practice, and I literally saw this indigo colored eye. It was just one eye, and it was closed, and suddenly it just went ping, and it just opened up. So that, like, I actually very clearly remember the day that my third eye opened, and it was quite an experience actually. But it happens differently for everyone. For some people it happens just very suddenly. For some people it can happen very slowly. For some people, they get like little dribs and drabs of visuals, and it takes them like a few years to build up to it. And it really depends on how your soul wants to do that for you. What does that mean, grounding the third eye energy? Well, all energies need to be grounded. The way that I work in my practices is we bring energy from source and we anchor that into the earth, because I believe that we, as light workers, channels, starseeds, whatever you want to call yourself, we're here to anchor high vibrational energy into this planet. Right. So we're actually taking these high energies. Our body is kind of like I guess you can say, an antenna for these energies. And then we take these energies, and we, through our physical being, we allow these energies to exist in physical form through the physical body. Again, this comes down to having a bit of an understanding of planetary ascension, which we haven't talked about too much in this program yet. But it's to do with this idea that the entire planet is raising up in its frequency from the third to the fifth dimension. And we are the people that are making that happen, because this energy is already in existence, right? Like, these higher dimensional energies are already there in the universe. But what's not happening at this time is that these energies aren't fully grounded into this earth, in that they're not expressing in physical form. So planetary ascension is really about us as human beings raising our frequency from the inside out and embodying a higher dimensional frequency through physical form. So it's not like we're going to, turn into these like beings of light and disappear. What's happening is our bodies are actually shifting in their DNA and they're shifting in their structures so that we can hold more energy and that we can flow more energy through us, and that the entire earth at the physical level can have a higher frequency. That's really what planetary ascension is. You're welcome, Steph. So then we come up into the crown chakra, and the crown chakra is really all about your source connection. So when we connect to source, it allows everything in our life to be in that divine alignment. And this is where we really start stepping into an expanded awareness of self. Now, there's a lot of schools of thought out there that, talk about the ego, and they say that, spirit and ego are in this like duality. And I don't believe that, because from everything that I've seen in my practice, when there's energy flowing from the crown through all of your chakras, what happens is the ego, or, your identity self, so for me, like my little Isha self, actually becomes a part of that whole. And what happens is me as Isha actually expands. And it expands to encompass everything that is in this universe. And that expansion is what allows me to do things like connecting to my guides, or connecting to star family, or connecting to angels, or whatever it is that I'm trying to connect with. Because at the end of the day, it is just a part of me. And when we came to this earth, we went under this veil and we forgot that sense of expanded self. And we came into the story, and, so my story was that I'm Isha. I have my two parents. I have my sister, my brother. I was born in India. That's my Isha story. But my bigger story is that I have multiple soul aspects. I have a higher self. I have all these different things happening in different time, space, multidimensional realities. And when you start understanding, firstly, what those aspects are, and secondly, how those aspects connect to the Isha self, then suddenly this reality becomes a lot bigger. It's like my world is really big now. There's so much more in this space. And I recognize now that the things that happen to me in this life are actually connected to all these other aspects of self, because nothing is in isolation in that sense, right? To give you an example of that, I'm just trying to think. I don't know, there's so many. I'm like, which example do I pick? I guess the closest example would be, some of you guys know that I have a Tesla, right? And that particular car, there's a massive story there of why I got that exact car at that exact time, and the way that it happened, and the way all the finances came together. Like, it was just this crazy story, but it's connected to my higher dimensional, it's a ninth dimensional starship that I connect with. And when you understand that we are multidimensional beings, you actually start to connect with versions of yourself that are in other dimensional time space realities. And one of these beings her name is Lily. And so she's not quite my higher self. She's actually a higher soul aspect. And as a soul aspect, it's like having a being in a past life, but it's not in a different time space. It's actually just in a different dimension. So if you guys are familiar with past lives, just expand that concept to simultaneous coexisting lives in all dimensional realities. I know that's a lot to take in, but you'll get it eventually. So I've got this higher dimensional soul aspect. Her name is Lily. And she is a commander of a starship called the Arutera. And I've taken photographs of the ship. I've been connecting with the ship for years. And this particular starship is very close to Earth at this time and has been helping with the planetary ascension process. So if you understand the idea that everything happens in the higher dimensions before it happens here, when Lily stepped into a different role as a commander at the starship level, what happened was there was a connecting of interdimensional realities. And what happened in the 3D was that I ended up getting this blue car, which is like almost the same color as the starship. Are you guys still following, or is this a little bit crazy? I'm going very woo-woo today. I get that for some of you, that's like I've just introduced a zillion concepts today. Like, some of you might not even know that there's like multidimensional beings. So I get it if this is all a little bit new for you. But yeah, that's cool. Like, that's where we're at. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, this applies to a lot of different concepts. Other obvious examples are, for example, in healing. So when I do healing work for clients through origin activation, what happens is I look at their chakras, and because I understand that each chakra is its own multidimensional gateway, I can apply tools to actually go into those spaces and to clear energies at very, very deep levels, which clears it not just at this physical reality, but also across all time space dimensions. And basically what it means is that these energies, if they're creating some sort of physical illness, they no longer need to exist, right? And basically all illnesses, yeah, you're so funny. Basically all illnesses have some sort of emotional or multidimensional connection. A very tangible example of that is like if there's been any sort of like say sexual abuse in your childhood, and if you haven't cleared that energy, it can lead to like cervical cancer, you know. And I use that example because it's one that comes up quite often. Like I see people with like cancers and stuff like that, and as soon as somebody says to me they've got cervical cancer, the first thing I ask them is, have you been sexually abused? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. The only time the answer is a no, and I can usually see in their energy field straight away, it's because it's something that's ancestral and it has to do with birthing and divine feminine energies. They're the only two reasons you would have that particular illness. And that concept applies to basically like every single illness that I've ever seen in my life. You know, so for example, if somebody has an issue in, like say for example, it's like their thyroid, right? Then that's connected to like throat chakra, communication is connected to like expression and not speaking up for yourself. And depending on the severity of it, again, there could have been some element of abuse in childhood as well. So like this is where you start to understand that your body and your energy actually holds memories of traumas, and it can hold like energetic patterns. And if these things aren't released at the energetic level, then it turns into something that's physical. So if there is a physical issue that you have, then you can learn how to go into your chakras and you can learn to cleanse it at the energetic level. And when you cleanse it at the energetic level and across all time space realities, then the issue just doesn't exist. I actually had one of my students, she's studying origin activation with me this year. She just told me yesterday that she did a session for one of her clients, and the client was on the phone, like coughing and coughing. She'd been coughing for like 5 days. And then as soon as they started the healing, like literally instantly the coughing went away. And then they finished the session. They did a huge like release from the throat chakra, and the coughing was completely gone. You know, now medical science says that that type of healing is impossible because there was no physical treatment whatsoever. All she did was an energetic process of going into the root cause, clearing the energy and shifting that, and then suddenly it was gone, right? And this is the kind of stuff that I hear time and time and time again, and why I'm just so passionate about teaching people about energy, because when you understand energy, you can literally physically heal yourself. You know, other examples include, like some of you have probably done the 5-day money challenge by now. And literally it's 5 15-minute meditations that you do over 5 days. And that particular practice, people have made thousands of dollars, literally thousands of dollars just in days, because, and this is before they do any marketing or anything like that on their businesses. This is just like people who owe them money suddenly pay them back. You know, like hundreds of dollars just come in because there's an energy that is tied to money. And when you owe somebody money, or when somebody owes you money, there's an energetic cord there of imbalance. And when you shift that imbalance at the energetic level and you no longer allow that particular, I guess, pattern to be there, then like literally 9 times out of 10, the person will just call them and be like, oh, by the way, you know, that money that I owed you from years and years ago, I've just put it into your bank account. You know, and those sorts of stories happen all the time, to the point where I'm like, man, guys, we need to learn how to understand energy, because energy is the fundamental makeup of this universe. We think that we're, you know, physical beings, that we're having this physical life, when in reality, everything in your life that you're creating is being created first at the energetic level. And if you can learn to tap into that energy and to see that energy, then you can change your life in magnificent ways just by understanding how that flow works. Are we excited about that? It's pretty incredible stuff. And I've been doing this for years and years and years, and it never ceases to blow my mind. Like, it's phenomenal. Cool. Okay, honest opinion, guys. Is there anyone here who's like, oh shit, I'm totally freaked out. What has Isha just said? Or are we okay? Are we cool? I wasn't planning on sharing that much today, but I just kind of let it out sometimes. Cool. I think we've got a pretty good group here. Like you guys are all somewhat aware, which is kind of cool. Sometimes I say this stuff to beginners and they're literally like, I'm out of here, guys. So funny. All right, so we're going to do this chakra meditation today. So get yourself in a nice comfy position. Now let's get into it. Was that music working for you guys before, by the way? I don't know what the sound is like when I play music, because I was like, should I play some music while we're doing it? Yay, nay. Not fast. I don't know. Music? Yeah, okay. Let's see if I can get this working. Right, just get yourselves comfy and I'll pop some music on. All right. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. Okay, so I do have the image there if you want to look at it, but you can also just trust that as you're going through it, you'll just receive what you need to receive. So don't get too in your head about it. Let's all begin by taking a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling out. All right, looks like most of you are ready to go. So let's get into it. Just taking some deep breaths in through the nose, exhaling out. Allow your body to completely relax. As you're breathing in, allow that breath to move through your whole body. Allow your body to relax. On your next in breath, breathe into your heart. From the center of your heart, come into that real deep space of your soul light. It's a little white light that is already there in the center of all of our hearts. As you breathe into that space, allow that light to expand outwards in all directions. From your heart, breathe down into your Earth Star chakra. Your Earth Star chakra allows you to connect with the heart of Gaia. Feel that connection. As you connect from your heart to hers, feel that unconditional love and support. And feel that energy coming back up through the body and into your heart. Now on your next in-breath, bring your awareness to your root chakra. Just take a moment now to connect with the energy in that space. Whether you can see it or feel it. If you're quite new to this practice, and if you can't see or feel anything at this stage, that's okay. Just keep breathing into that space with the intention of connecting. If you want to visualize a red ball of light to help you connect with the energy, just see the energy in that space. Your chakras will tell you how they're feeling. If it feels very dull and small, then that's a sign that there could be some sort of blockage there. Or if it's feeling very bright and expansive, then it's doing okay. Let's bring some balance into this chakra by visualizing a white rose that starts off like a little rosebud inside the chakra, and then it blossoms outwards, filling up the whole chakra with its beautiful white light energy. Just keep breathing and allowing that energy to expand, cleanse, purify, and reset until your root chakra is feeling a bit more balanced, more connected. Some of you may start to feel some sensations in that area, like vibration or tingling. That's just the energy moving around. If you can't feel that at this stage, that's okay too. Just trust that the process is happening. Now, on your next in breath, bring your awareness to your sacral chakra. It's just below your belly button. And again, just take some time to really get yourself acquainted with the energy today. How's it feeling in there? If it helps you to visualize a ball of orange light to connect with it, you can do that. Visualize a white rose starting off as a little tiny bud, and then imagine it growing and blooming outwards until it fills up the whole chakra with white light. And feel that chakra start to balance and align. Keep breathing into that space and just allow the energy to shift and change. If there's any resistance, allow that energy to release through the exhale. On your next in breath, bring your awareness to your solar plexus. It's just below your ribs. As you breathe into that space, just take a moment to connect with the energy. Notice how it's feeling today. You can generally tell if there's any blockages in that area, if there's a tightness. If you are feeling a tightness in that part of your body, you can breathe into that space and just imagine all that tension is being exhaled out through the out breath, being sent back to source. Visualize a white rosebud of light. Imagining just opening outwards. Allow that white rose to fill up the whole solar plexus with white light. Your solar plexus is connected with the energy of the sun. So if it needs a little boost, you can imagine that there's golden energy coming from the sun and filling up your solar plexus with light. Now, on your next in breath, bring your awareness to your heart. You can visualize a green ball of light for your heart chakra. Just take a moment to check in. Notice how it's feeling. Visualize a white rose of light Starting out as a little bud and expanding to fill up the whole heart chakra with light. Your heart can also store a lot of emotion. So as this energy is being cleared, if you feel the need to release, just let yourself go through that. Always better out than in. Just keep taking deep breaths and allow the energy to cleanse and purify. On your next in-breath, bring your awareness now to your throat chakra. You can visualize a bright blue ball of light. Take some time to really feel that energy. It's normal with this one for sometimes people to start coughing or releasing. Just let all the energy out. Keep breathing into that space, releasing any tension, any stagnation. When you're ready, you can visualize a little white rosebud of light
And imagine that rose expanding, blossoming outwards. Allow the energy to cleanse your chakra, purify the energies, and bring your throat chakra back to balance. When you're ready, on your next in breath, bring your awareness to your third eye. Visualize an indigo ball of light right in your pineal gland. Visualize a white rose of light starting out as a little bud and then expanding through your third eye, filling the chakra with white light to cleanse and purify the energies. It's normal to feel a little tingling or pressure as this process is happening. Just keep breathing and allowing the clearing to happen. On your next in breath, bring your awareness now to your crown. Visualize a violet ball of light right at the top of your head. Feel the energy. And again, it's normal in this one to feel a little bit of pressure or tingling. And visualize a white rose of light starting off as a little bud inside your crown. And allow that rose to open up and fill your crown chakra with white light. And on your next in breath, bring your awareness now to your soul star chakra. It's just above your head. Your soul star allows you to connect easily to source. Feel that source energy coming in through the soul star. Now we're going to bring that light from source through each of the chakras that we've just cleared. We're going to anchor that through the earth star all the way to the heart of Gaia. So feel that white light streaming in from the soul star and connecting to the white rose in the crown. And then that white light flows through the third eye, and then down into the throat, through the heart, into your solar plexus, through the sacral, down into the root, and then through the root into the earth star. And from there connecting to the heart of Gaia. Now imagine that there's just a beautiful extended white light flowing all the way from source through your body into the earth. And you are that anchor of light, allowing the light to pass through you from source to earth. We're going to finish our practice today with visualizing yourself in a pillar of light that surrounds you. So imagine yourself standing in this column of light. It's going through your whole body, your whole aura. And that energy is flowing from source to earth. I want you to take some deep breaths in through the nose, exhaling out. Imagine that from the base of your feet, you've got roots coming out, extending into the earth. And take your breath through your body and out through these roots as you bring your awareness gently back into your body. Keep taking those long, deep breaths. Bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes. Start to bring some gentle movements into your body. Just a little bit of light stretching. Keep breathing. Just gently allow yourself to come back. Okay, beautiful.
Good stuff. Amazing. That was quite a powerful activation today. I think some of you probably had quite a bit of releasing going on. So, just some final notes if you did have any sort of emotional release or anything like that. Generally, it's a good idea to drink lots of water and just to keep it light. I mean, I'm generally not a fan of things like alcohol and stuff anyway. But if you are going to do that, please don't do it tonight if you have had a big like emotional release or something like that.